Hi, this is Bruce Greenwald of the REM Services Company, and today I'd like to show you a short video on the use of our Documentor utility software package that's used to document phase logic, SSCs, and recipe objects right from DeltaV. So we can see that I'm in DeltaV Explorer and I've navigated to my phase classes, and I'm going to open up in Control Studio my firm SIP phase class. And I'm doing this just so you guys can get a view of what the phase looks like from Control Studio. Pretty standard stuff. We have our steps and transitions within our SIP phase. Now, to make use of our Documentor program, which will help us document out not only the physical graphical structure but also all the actions of all the steps, what we want to do is export the phase out of DeltaV into its FHX file. So I'll right click on the phase, I'll do an export, I'll select my transfer folder, but you could put it anywhere, including your desktop, and I'll hit save. Now if I navigate over to my Windows Explorer, there's my phase exported to FHX format. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to right click on that file and I'm going to say copy. And then I'm going to move off of my remote terminal session back to my desktop computer and place that file into a folder that I had waiting for it called Batch Demo by just doing a paste. And so now here's my firm sip.fhx file transferred to my computer. Let me change the style here to details, and I'll right click on the file, and when you install Documentor, it adds two entries to the right click inside of Windows Explorer, and my choices are Generate Documentation. So I'm going to first click on Generate Documentation, and Documentor is going to go out and begin parsing the FHX file, and then pops up a dialog box where I can customize the output, and I can select what columns I want to see in my final output in the HTML document, and whether I want to see the steps and transitions, do I want to see the description, am I interested in the confirm timeout or the confirm expression. I'll let everything be selected and click apply. I can also tie my phase logic to my recipe logic by selecting this choice here and picking a separate FHX file that would contain my recipe information. Once I'm happy with my selections, I'll click apply, and Documentor now creates a folder with the name of the phase along with some intermediate files that it used to get to that point. If I drill down into there, I see I now have a HTML file for each of the states that I can configure logic for in my phase. And if I double click my run logic.html, it will automatically launch into your default browser, in this case Internet Explorer, and now I'm looking and seeing all my steps, each of the actions under the step, and the transitions. I'm seeing the description, the action type, the qualifier, if there's a delay expression and its time, what the actual action expression is, and if the confirm expression exists. Also, to make navigation easier in this format, we've hyperlinked each of the transitions to the following step. So if you have a large phase with multiple choices on your transitions, you don't have to scroll around in the document. You can merely click on the hyperlink and Documentor will take you to the next step. Now let's go back. I'll go to my FHX file, and this time I'm going to right click and select Export to Visio. Once again, it parses through the file, and it gives me once again the choice to include a recipe file. I'm just going to apply. I'm now going to get a set of options for how I want this to appear within Visio. And so I can include a footer, I can actually show the transition expressions, and what do I want the default zoom and the print zoom to be? So let me change the default display zoom to 100, and I'll click Apply. Now Documentor is parsing through the 5 objects that are in the phase: run logic, hold logic. And when it completes, if I now go back to my same folder, I now have a Visio file for each one of my state files. If I double click on my run logic, here's the run logic. And what Documentor does is it takes the comment from each of the actions associated with a step and places those comments next to the step. Now, since we're hyperlinked, I can double click on the Go to HTML, and we automatically launch the equivalent HTML for that Visio. So I can go back and forth between the Visio and the tabular output of the phase.